right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. It's a conversation on youth and politics. Every Friday, we give the young people a chance to speak about matters, politics, and everything in between there. My guests are with me. Victor Kiprono is the CEO of Zero Barefoot. Thank you for making time. Kimberly Grace is a youth advocate, also the University of Nairobi Secretary, Gender and Welfare. Thank you for making time. Also next to her is Seth Okumu, Director, Kenya Youth Transition Initiative. Thank you for making time. We have Ken Olesile, UDA Secretary, Kilgoris. Asante sana for making time. Felista Adhiambo is a youth advocate. Thank you for making time. And Billion Ojiwa, community mobilizer. Thank you all for making time. Seth, before we took the break, we were talking about the what you're going to base your decision on when you're electing your leaders. This is in reference to what is going on in Nairobi, but across board as young people. What will you be basing your decision on?
Thank you, Trevor. So for instance, I vote in Kisumu, and we have various candidates in Kisumu. So for me, I would want a leader who listens to the people, a leader who espouses the principles are set out in Article 10, inclusivity, someone who would be prudent in financial management of the public resources, someone who would be able to develop the schedule. If you look at Schedule 4, those devolved functions, healthcare, education, agriculture, manufacturing, and for me, for avoidance of doubt, for instance, in Kisumu, we're going to vote in Professor Tom Ojienda as the governor. But having said that, I will go back to what Billion was saying.
Let's not use this as a campaign.
I'm just saying, what the people of Kisumu have in mind. But I need to state this for avoidance of doubt. The county government of whichever county, all the 47, can get into an agreement with the national government as espoused in Article 189. If you read 189, Article 189, they do not even need the approval of the county's assemblies. Once a governor is elected, he exercises that authority. You understand? So if someone would go and say that there was no public participation, they are missing the point. It is the right of any governor, provided at the end of the day, services are being offered to the people, the resources that are being pumped inside that county are going to be for the benefit of the people. So we need not to be a nation that politicizes everything. That even if something good would be brought to the people, then we must look at it from a political angle. We have to agree as a people that if something is good, it is good. If something is bad, it is bad. Let us not try and make something good bad and try to make something bad good. That would be missing the point. Okay. So Nairobi, in this particular agreement, it is a win for the people of Nairobi. I know other politicians would want to ride and say that, oh, it is because Governor Sakaja is incompetent or what, as Billion states. And you will remember that before you are bestowed that responsibility of governing a county, you do not know the difficulty it is to manage a county. There are so many factors in play. There are so many interests one has to balance. And there are so many other things that one has to consider before you are effectively able to manage a county.
Okay. Felista, you're winding up on this conversation as well. On what you will base your decision on.
First of all, I'm a young Kenyan leader who believes leadership is all about service. Before I tap to vote for any leader, I will ensure that he or she understands the real problem of our society, especially the young people. We are dealing with mental issues, we are dealing with unemployment, we are dealing with limited business spaces, and etc. We need to sit down and analyze who can be favorable to lead this country.
Okay. Let me bring in now Ken Olesile and change this conversation into the Sifuna effect. There's a lot of politics going on right now, and we've seen the younger brigade, the Linda Mwananchi team, not the Linda Ground team, run by Honorable Edwin Sifuna, Honorable Babu Owino, Godfrey Osotsi, James Orengo. When you saw all that happened in Kitengela and now it's heading to Kakamega and all that, did this reignite the Gen Z factor? And is this the change that people really want, or is it more of the same, just competing against?
First, just to answer my brother so that it does not go unanswered. He was saying about the list of the National Executive individuals who have been assigned also. In the agreement, they say a good thing cannot wait. In that agreement, whereby there is a capital injection, if, for example, the National Police Service, security, you cannot depend on Kanjo to guard the city. So you have to bring in the internal security. The PS has to take over that. Far from that, we've talked about the Sifuna effect. One, they say politics is not a preserve of the old. I agree. And old is not a preserve of the young. Sifuna is a young, energetic politician, but he needs mentorship. He needs to have somebody to mentor above him, mentorship, direction. We've had...
mentorship, or is the one mentoring younger people?
No, you see, he's also a young person, right, coming up, aspiring to be maybe a leader in this head of maybe president in the future, but he needs mentorship. Every ambition needs mentorship and direction. When Sifuna was in Kitengela, it was not about articulation of issues. It is just about populism. The populism issue of, the crowds, the numbers. This thing we have seen before. You remember when former Deputy President Gachagua was impeached? We had a lot of crowds. He was coming to, media every day, every time. We see him, the morning walks. You remember in Mbeere North, he used to go and make tea for those Mamambaga and so on. Right now, have you ever seen him in the media? Have you ever seen the crowds of Gachagua again? So we've seen these crowds.
They're still there, in all fairness.
Yeah.
He still holds his campaign.
You see, like for example, when Sifuna was in Kitengela, I realized later that even Gachagua was in Nairobi for a rally. Nobody knew about it.
Everybody knew about it.
No.
In fact, they're supposed to hold a protest today because they were supposed to see the...
So what I'm saying is, the Sifuna factor is a populist politics. Is a populist. So the question is, are they going to handle the momentum? We have 18 months to election. The government is busy delivering to the people of Kenya. My party leader is busy delivering the plan. Remember when they were making fun of in TikTok about the Samatar, that road. The road is on course. By the end of these 18 months, even long before, the Mau Summit Road will be over. So we will bring the scorecard. We will be competing against our scorecard. So my question is, are they able to sustain that momentum? The momentum of, the crowds and so forth and so on. Secondly, recently we've had the by-elections. And Sifuna comes from Western Kenya. We had the Malava seat. They were unable to, have it in the basket with all the populist politics and all that. So to me, is a fairly senior young leader coming up.
Yeah.
But there's an issue of mentorship and taming so that you don't go beyond the board.
Okay. Let me bring
finally, just to finish, Babu Owino has the politics of kingship. He says, after Baba, ni Babu. So along the way, the light of Babu is diminishing because Sifuna is coming. So Babu is diminishing. Along the way, they will part ways.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a conflict of interest.
Let me bring in Kiprono on this. Kiprono, is this about populism or ideology?
Thank you, Trevor. I think for all fairness, Sifuna is just an attention seeker in this city. And for heaven's sake, what does Sifuna stand for? What is one policy that Sifuna has said that he stands for? I have tried looking into his speeches over the past few weeks. I have tried analyzing what he's saying, and what has come out clear is that Sisi ndio Sifuna, and I don't know what that means. I have tried also finding out, because in the rally that they had in Kitengela, you could see the chance, you could see the populism agenda, any idea. In fact, I was reading, let me take you back to history. In 1994, when there was a disagreement in Fort Kenya, Raila Odinga resigned from being a member of parliament of Langata, formed his own political party, that was NDP, and ran on that ticket and became a member of parliament of Langata. I want to challenge Edwin Sifuna, my brother. If you feel like you have the capacity, you have the muscles, let me also take you back to history. In 2021, when there was a disagreement in Jubilee, the current president, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, when there was a disagreement in Jubilee Party, William Ruto separated with Uhuru Kenyatta, the then president, and formed his own political party, UDA. 4 years down the line, UDA is actually 4 years from formation. It is the largest political party and the ruling party, and it was formed 4 years ago. He ran on that ticket, became the president. I want to challenge Edwin Sifuna on this particular show. If you feel like you have the political muscle to run around the city and to chant all over the place, form your own the correct way is form your own political party, use the populism that you have. In 2027, let's test the waters.
What if they
run on that political party, secure...
Will they gather the Gen Z vote, who are the silent majority?
Exactly. You know, the Gen Z vote, I am a young person, barely enough. But you see, the young vote and the Gen Z, as we all call it, is neither here nor there. You know, this populism agenda of Gen Z, I said the other time, when we were given an opportunity to register as voters, you see even the turnout. These people are not coming even to register as voters. It is popularly seen as they have the numbers, but when the rubber meets the road, it is actually the old guard who will come and do the voting. If you go to the ground, I am a grassroots person. The people actually who elect leaders are those mamambogas, those border guys, and those who assess. If you see in the lines, these Gen Zs, they will chant around, and I want to challenge Edwin Sifuna. Unaona watu wanakuambia sisi ndio Sifuna. They will lie to you. They will make you so popular. They will even print T-shirts having your name and your photo. You will think you are very popular. On the day of voting, you will realize that the people who come actually and cast the vote are the silent majority. These are the sober individuals who understand the difference between a sober working leader and a populist like James Orengo, who is a governor, and he has the entire time to run around the country and to lead a chance of Linda ground, and he has a mandate as the governor of a whole county, and I want even to call out the MCAs of that particular county to immediately and quickly get a motion of impeachment and impeach that guy, give him space to run around and join out this cabal of people running around the country.
Yeah.
Because these are activists. These are people who are not ready to sit in an office and articulate issues and run a running government. Okay. These are activists.
All right,
so to finish, my point is, I am a believer of young leadership, and young leaders should lead the way. But we should not be populists. People, but what is the end goal? Because Sifuna should be telling us what is the end goal of all this. What is the end game? You become popular without a plan, then it will be an end game. In politics, it will be just a quick, hiyo ninasemanga ni moto ya magazeti.
Okay. Kimberly, is this the energy that young people needed from Sifuna and the Babu Owinos of this world?
Trevor, I think here, because my friends have also agreed that sisi ndio Sifuna. We, the young people, are so energetic. We have ideas. We are into much of innovations, and we create spaces where none exist. And the young people, it's not that we want to be popular, Trevor. We want spaces to be created. We are not saying that politics is a game of the old, that we don't need the old people. Let me accept the fact that we need wisdom from these people. What we are asking is, if a table is set here in front of us, let them also create a space for us. Let us also be decision makers, major decision makers, not just mobilizers, you know, cameramen around serving water and all that, yet we have all that it takes. And I might correct my friend that he says, oh, Gen Zs are just online hypers, they don't turn that online energy to ground. Let me challenge you, 2024, during the Gen Z protests, we had noted the enemy was the finance bill. And you see, once the Gen Zs have noticed, this is the common problem. They will come out in large numbers. We were there, and we had challenged the status quo. And you see, when these people feel like the sleeping lions are awoken, it becomes a threat. Because right now, we are tired. We are tired of being told, oh, we are going to do this, we're going to do that, and then the reality now downs on the common mwananchi or this young person. Just like I told you, if a young person goes 2 years without working and you give this person 500 shillings just to go and cause mayhem or just distract somewhere, they will think this is a job opportunity, which should not be the case. And back to the Sifuna thing. Sifuna, I think when he's going around, however much he might be saying that he's looking for popularism, which is not the case. We've seen this guy is very accountable, and I'm just doing myself injustice, because if we had called Sifuna today here, he would come with the Constitution, he would come with that volume of books that he's going to quote. This article says this, and will clearly, this is somebody who is accountable, someone who is transparent. And that is what the young people want. Everyone wants an accountable leader, for heaven's sake, Trevor. You want somebody, when you give, even your woman at home, I presume, if you give her 500 shillings, you would want to know, what has this thing done? Are you getting it? You'll want to trace every single penny. And that is what we, the young people, want.
But yeah, I get your point.
And for a matter of fact, you see, Sifuna knows the power of the people, the sovereignty of the people. It belongs to them. He's not saying linda ground. He has nothing to gain with the ground. He's lindering mwananchi. What is the interest of mwananchi? What is your interest, you as Trevor? You want a working system. You want somebody who is accountable to you. Isn't that what the young people want? And as my friend has said, if Sifuna ran for president today, maybe or in the near future, they will support. Reason being, he's shown them the value. Why should he vote for Sifuna? I mean, are you getting it? And the question is that not Gen Zs don't want to vote. The question is, are the people on the ballot worth voting for? Are they people who are worth for you to wake up at 5 a.m. and go and queue?
Yeah.
Because for us, the young people, we have resolved into digital influencing. Most of us, the other time, I hear they wanted to shut the TikTok because they're saying somebody earns 2 billion. Who earns 2 billion from TikTok? It's just because these people are afraid the sleeping dogs are awoken. They have referred to us that, oh, the Gen Zs went to parliament and eat rice. But they are forgetting that the enemy was the finance bill and we were there to defend it. If this time round, it is one term. I'm telling you, if these young people strategize, and one thing I love about my generation is, if today, Trevor, you are vying for MP in Nyakach, for instance, and you do not have finance, these people are very supportive. They will tell you, give me time, brother. They will tell you,
let her finish,
Trevor, they will tell you, if you don't have the finance, my father owns a kayak. He can give you the convoy. This other person will tell you, my father has this PA address. He can give it to you while I talk to him. Are you getting? These are people.
Support each other.
Yeah, they support each other. We are trying to run away from the politics of tokenism. And I'm telling you...
But registering as voters is where you draw the line.
No, it's not where we draw the line, Trevor.
Numbers. There's people expected by IBC.
We have 16 months down the line, and fair if point. These young people are awakened, they're going to shock.
Fair point. But if IBC is looking at 6 million, yes, we have quite some time. So there's a mass voter registration is coming up. So that's a fair point to say. But if you're looking at 6 million people and only 200,000 have registered the continuous voter registration, statistically, do you
Which
think
is
even,
true, I agree
even
with
when
you.
the mass voter registration begins, you will achieve all the 6 million? And you just said now that it's not about the voting, it's about other people in the ballot worth voting for.
Exactly.
So if you decide that, then aren't you inadvertently allowing the older generation to vote in whoever they want by
Not Trevor. Listen, we have said clearly, young people are showing up. Okay? And I want you to understand, we are 16 months down the line to election. 10. Are you getting it? So if in between a young person gives us the value to vote for him, we are still evaluating these leaders. We are still vetting them.
So that person might be Sifuna.
If that is the case, why not? I mean, if Sifuna vies today, a lot of young people will come. Why will they say Sisi ndio Sifuna then? He has also said clearly it's from UDA. By the way, I didn't tell you I'm an ODM young captain member. And that is a lobby group within the ODM Women League, and it calls upon young women to be in politics. And before you know it, Trevor, we're going to challenge the status quo.
Okay, let me bring in Seth on this. We're talking about the Sifuna effect. Is it going to create the change that the younger generation are looking for in the future now?
Thank you, Trevor. What Kimberly is saying is all rainbows and sunshine. I wish that would be the reality on the ground. Trevor, every weekend we are on the ground. The organization that I represent, Kenya Youth Transition Initiative, we are doing mass ID registration. We are doing, because we realized the problem was not so much even about registering as voters, but the problem was that people did not have identity cards. And so through Dr. Raymond Omolo, the patron of our organization, we have been doing daily numbers that are exceeding 1,000 people who are registering for identity cards.
That is every day.
That is every day. And our hope is that once those ID cards come back, then we can be able to register these people as voters. But what I would like to point out here is this. One, the tragedy of our time is that the youth do not show up when it matters most. You can be online, you can be good at hashtags, you can be good at TikTok, but when the electoral process comes, no one casts votes on TikTok or Facebook or Twitter. Votes are cast at the ballot. And it is this aloofness of the youth with the political processes that is part of the problem that we are having. Because someone would just decide, it's not my vibe. You make a decision because someone is not your vibe. You do not take time to interrogate their policy, interrogate their agenda, look what they stand for. You're going to vote for someone because perhaps they are flashy, they are wearing some type of way, they're driving a particular car. And that is a problem that we are having. So that when people are making decisions that would affect how the country is run for the next 5 years, someone would base those decisions on some very flimsy grounds that would not make sense. If you look at what President William Samoei Ruto has managed to achieve in his first 3 or 4 years in office, and you look at what the past 2 presidents achieved combined in terms of infrastructure, in terms of investment in education, in terms of investment in healthcare, it is like day and night. There's a very huge difference. If you ask someone who is shouting one term, and you tell them, tell us why you are shouting one term, they will have no reason. So it is a mere slogan. If you tell them that, why are you not... What is the problem? You interrogate them. You will find that mostly they get agitated, they are angry, and they're like, you're not my vibe. You don't get the point. What is the point? That is what we are trying to ask here. And beyond empty sloganeering and those empty chants, the reality is that the president has outperformed himself. What President Ruto has done for us, Talanta Hela Stadium is coming up. Where I come from, roads were things we saw on TV. Getting from one point to another, I remember when I was young, getting from Kisumu to a place called Sori would be a journey that would take you more than 14 hours. Right now, when you get from Kisumu to Sori, it is a journey that can take you 4 hours. There are places that were inaccessible in Nyanza. Right now, they are accessible. Last mile connectivity of electricity when you go. There are places that had seen no light since independence. Right now, they are connected to the electrical grid. There are places that did not have piped water. Right now, they have piped water. Where I come from, it was a problem for fishermen to go fish and manage to store their fish in those areas. We have cold storage facilities in those areas. Kisumu, where I come from, for the longest time in Kabonyo Kanyagwal, we had a flooding problem. Trevor, you report every day. I don't know the last time you reported on a flood in Kabonyo Kanyagwal. It is being sorted as we speak. And yet, someone is standing somewhere and saying that this president should be one term. For what reason? And yet the president has consistently shown that he's able to perform. When I come back to Sifuna, I will agree with my fellow panelists. It is populist politics. Because politics in its purest form is about service to the people. It is about working for the people. And if as senator you have the I don't know where it gets the courage to stand and state that you are issuing a statement because your governor has elected to work with the national government, and Sifuna is a lawyer, he should know better that what the governor did was for the betterment of his people, those who elected him. He is the first person who should be supporting what the governor did. Okay. They should synergize how they work together, because at the end of the day, it is not about Sifuna, it is not about Sifuna or his movement. It is about service to the people. It is about delivering what they promised to the people of Nairobi and the people of Kenya.
All right. Billion, will the young leaders disrupt the political system? The Sifunas of this world, the Babu Owinos of this world. Because right now, the conversation is already shaping into just two parts. Those who support President William Ruto and those who don't. There's no in-between. But can they be the in-between? Are they going to disrupt the political system?
I think, so I want to be, because I'm a senior youth in this panel, I think I'll bring the voice of reason. Number one, if you look at what happened during the Gen Z protest, the Gen Zs didn't have a closure to that protest. So there's still a room of what next, because they didn't have the what next. The traditional, the normal political figures came in and did their thing. So they sat back, and all of us have been waiting for them to do the traditional things, or the things the traditional way. We expected during the registration, the voter registration, that they come out and register. I sit in a class at the University of Nairobi with political science students, more than 600 of them. And there's a time that one of our lecturers asked how many people have registered as voters. Nearly 10% had registered. And then he went ahead to ask, what is the reason? And the reason was clear. We still don't have a clear path. So if we expect the young people to be doing things the traditional way, when it's voter time to register as voters, all of us, watu wanaenda kama mambuzi, it's going to be different. And I'm saying this, that maybe they just need a spark. And that's the spark that is making everyone in all the quarters uncomfortable. And I'm not here to sing two-term or one-term. For me, I always sit in a place where we reason, we analyze, because we deserve the best. We don't deserve better than what happened yesterday. We deserve the best as young people. And I also sit as someone who understands that, you know, the politics, the government come and go. Institutions, the states remain. I have a son. In the next 5-10 years, he'll be a senior member of this country. And I want the structures, I want the space where, the space where I live, the contribution that I made is fair enough, not because somebody was doing better than the other, and maybe the bar was set way below. Yeah. And
so these young leaders could be the reason for Gen Zs to now go and take.
Yes, I think that's the spark. And the worry of the government should be that sisi ndio Sifuna transform to sisi ndio Sifuna na niko na kura. Or people now identify sisi ni Sifuna when they have a voter's card. That should be the worry, the biggest worry of the government, because right now they still don't understand how these people are operating. And what happened in Kitengela should be a big statement. However, we should not also not use this platform. I come from Siaya County, and my governor is part of what is happening. And I think we should also not use this county to promote incompetence. We see what is happening in Siaya, and I believe we should look at the service delivery. Is the governor delivering? Yes or no? He's not delivering. But when you look at other figures, if you look at what Babu has been doing in Embakasi East, top notch. If you look at the conversations and what Sifuna has been able to shape in this country, top notch. So these young people have been just looking for a spark, and don't be surprised. And that's why everybody is talking about Sifuna. Everybody is obsessed with the Sifuna movement. And I am doing this. I know I belong to a different party, and I wait for the direction from my party. But as a young person, I believe that, you know, this Sifuna effect could also push the government to do the right thing. Because sometimes we sit back comfortable, and because there is no Baba, there is nobody who is a competitor, is a strong competitor, it makes things to be normal. I believe as a young person, that when we have clear, strong figures like Sifuna, it also unsettles the government, and that's when we get to gain as people.
Okay, Felista, do these young people inspire confidence in you of true change?
You can be popular, but you don't have. You have okay. Let me start. You can be popular, but you have zero work on ground. You can't compare President William Samoei Ruto with Sifuna. Sifuna is loud and has no development delivery on the system.
Yes.
While the president is calm but has visible development in the country. Sifuna has not yet improved sanitary pads access. Do you think he will change in the coming 2027? Let him start now.
Why is that his role? What did you say?
Sifuna has not yet delivered access of sanitary pads.
Not his role.
That's not his role.
Is that his role?
Yeah.
Yes.
A leader.
He's a leader also.
No, the noise has been so loud, it's easy to be swayed to the noise.
No. Let her finish her point. Felista is still on the floor.
Do you think
he's a senator, so that's not specifically his role.
Do you really think he will change in the coming 2027? Let him start now. We don't want verbal communication. We want a leader who puts more action and has
a track record.
Yes,
okay.
Like President William Samoei Ruto. If you're kama nyinyi mnasema nyinyi ni Sifuna, pia sisi ni Ruto.
Okay, let me bring in Olesile on this. And Olesile, you know, there's something that happened in Kitengela as well, which
yes.
we can't let go without talking about. One person was shot dead in Kitengela. Okay. The violence in these rallies is something that has sparked possible protest. Today, the United Opposition said that there's going to be protest. What is your take on this meeting out of violence for perceived rallies that are against the government, as a young person yourself?
And I heard the Minister for Finance the other day saying the person killed was a Luo, and it was so sad.
Vincent Ayamo.
And we send our condolences to the family. Away from that, the Sifuna movement, in my opinion, is because of he has been ousted as a Secretary General from the party, simply. And you know, my brother was giving us history. We also have history from, you know, ODM is 21 years old. It's a very good, they have very good structures as a party. It's a well-planned, it's a strong party, you know. So Sifuna, even in track record back, the way he became an SG, he staged a coup against Ababu Namwamba. Then he became an SG for ODM. So this thing is a ripple effect. And I want to advise him as a senior youth leader also in this country. We remember when Honorable Matiang'i came back from the US. How was the crowd that received him in the airport and in Kisii, you know? But somewhere along the way, where is Matiang'i now? He's a great leader in this country. But you see, that populism has been swayed away. In 2013, Peter Kenneth, I accord him with high respect. He's a senior leader in this country. He had more than 1 million likes. People are saying, oh, you know, this leader, this guy is handsome. We are going to vote him in. He's a good man. And the media were chanting, and everybody was for Peter Kenneth. Did he get the 1 million votes? Mambo kwa ground in tofauti. So I just want to challenge that even with all these movements and everything, the main thing is sustainability. And because, you know, the Sifuna movement doesn't have structure. It is not planned. Where are they? Are they in the position of Gachagua? Are they on their own? Like, for example, Babu Owino and Mheshimiwa Gachagua, they don't share same line in politics. Gachagua is a tribalist. Everybody knows. Babu Owino is not. In the city, Gachagua said that all the leadership, top Krem leadership, he spoke in church a few months ago, that is going to put his people there, the Basenga guy for governorship. You cannot isolate him from Gachagua. Babu Owino has the same interest for governor in Nairobi. So how are they going to, put their structures together? So it's a confused, united opposition. They don't know who is going to become the president. They don't know. Kalonzo on the other side has his own structures for taking the leadership of the country. But what I'm saying is the Sifuna movement is not going to sway the young people to follow him just because of that populism. It's not as easy as that.
Okay.
Along the way, maybe it's 18 months to the election. By a few months to election, I was telling you, we'll be having all the roads, the Mau Summit complete, Like, for example, during the Kibaki era, Thika Superhighway was done in second term, right? During His Excellency Uhuru's regime, the railway was done in second term. Right now in first term, His Excellency, our President, William Samoei Ruto, has done Talanda Stadium, from the scratch. He has supported sports. There are so many pinpoint legacy points that you can pick from the first term. Like the Kenyan team has never reached the quarterfinal ever since but in Chan we saw what happened. Next year there is going to be AFCON. So what the president has done so far cannot be compared with what other leaders have done, even in second term. And he's doing it in the first term. Okay. The journey to Singapore is on course.
Okay.
We are going to Singapore.
Let me bring in some feedback. There's a lot of feedback coming through, and then I'll ask you that age-old question that I asked earlier on. What should young people look for in their leaders going into 2027? Is it their own personal interests, or is it delivery and service to the people? And what does that look like? Biraro Leonard says, by handing over very vital functions to the government of the day, which has failed the people, Governor Sakaja is telling Kenyans, particularly Nairobians, that he's unable to run the affairs of the county and therefore qualifies for impeachment. Nairobi needs a better governor. Okay? Samuel Owuot says Nairobi County government should be abolished and its affairs be taken over by the national government. We saw the city perform well under the NMS led by General Badi. Nairobi's cartels are very ruthless for the governor to handle. Wafula Levi says Kiprono sees a problem in Orengo siding with Sifuna and Babu, but does not see a problem with Governor Lusaka being appointed to head the re-election of President Ruto in Western Kenya. Sisi ndio Sifuna. Bob Otieno says, Trevor, that's Luo. Says Jakisumu no wacho what? What means what is that Jakisumu person saying? I'm from Manyata Gonda, Konambaya Kisumu. SHA, education, economy and health are not working for Kenyans. That's why people are chanting one term. Victor Onduto says Sifuna has been mentioned 1 million times by government sympathizers. Trevor, tell those government sympathizers to sell their policies that will eventually end in Timboroa, not in Singapore. Let me bring in Kiprono. Kiprono, what should the young people look for in their leaders going into 2027? Is it the partisan angle of it? Because I know you support the UDA party, that's fine. But is that the only lens you're going to use, or will it be based on actual performance and reality on the ground? What should young people look for in their leaders going into 2027?
Thank you, Trevor. Najua vijana tunataka power. Na that has been said. And what the young people should be looking into, actually, I want to handle your question vice versa. I think the young people should jump into the ring and be the change that we wish from others. I want to challenge my sister today as a young person, run even for that position as a member of County Assembly. I am running to be the next senator, the 4th senator of Uasin Gishu County. I want to become the senator of Uasin Gishu County because I've seen there are problems in my county. There are issues with oversight. There are issues with implementation of the people of Uasin Gishu have an issue, and I am coming to bridge that gap. As young leaders, as young people, as young generation, we should be focused more on a leader, one, who is able to have a clear manifesto, a clear plan. I think the plan is what is important in any structure. We need to support a leader with a plan, a leader with a clear vision. And you know, leadership without a vision is a dream. It's just like a dream. It's just like wet dreams. You need to get a leader who has a vision. You need to get a visionary leader. You see, I even had a point, even before I forget. The Sifuna populism, they will ask Pius Mwiru. You know, there was a preacher in this country called Pius Mwiru. Nuru Kizani, that guy ran for president. He got merely 200,000 votes. I think they should refer to that populism. We should not be populist leaders. We should seek for leaders with a plan, with a clear manifesto, and with an agenda. You know, for the longest time, I think President William Ruto, His Excellency, has not been given a fair hearing, has not been given even a fair time to implement his plan and a manifesto and what he has for this country. And I think it is high time that we look from a different lens as even young people. We need to analyze where were we in 2022 and where are we in 2026 and where can we possibly be in 2028, in 2032.
As a young person, Victor, it's fine. It's fair the position that you're taking because we know the support system that you have. That's okay. But the question is, have you seen some gaps in the current leadership of the country? Have you seen issues with SHA? Have you seen issues with the education system? Have you seen issues with pending bills? Have you seen issues with the taxation? Have you seen people decry the fact that their pockets are weaker now than they were before? Are those realities that are there, and do you acknowledge them as a young person?
As a young person,
are you blinded to that simply because of the side you're supporting?
As a young person and as a young leader, I acknowledge that there are problems in the country, and there are gaps that exist in the country, and no leadership, no regime is perfect. As a young leader, I have even acknowledged in this panel that we had issues with SHA. We had issues when there were the structures then were not, and we made our contribution, our noise, and we've seen that changed, and we now have a working system. We've had problem in education. Sometimes when we were in this panelist, we had issues with help loan, we had issues, students had issues with the new education system, we had issues with CBC. And we've hired our voices. It doesn't mean that today if Kiprono is supporting UD and government, I am blinded with the fact that sometimes gaps exist. And when that opportunity comes always, we come out to hire our voices and say, look, there is a problem that we need to fix in health sector. There is a problem in education. When we had problems in education, we came out and said, there is a problem. And government acted by releasing help loan, and government streamline education. We have now a streamlined education, and health is working. But again, as young people also, we should be the leaders. Gone are the days when we were told that we are the leaders of tomorrow. I think the time is that we are the leaders of today. The time is now, and the time is ripe. It is for us also, the young people, to call ourselves in a room and to sit down and say, what are we going to offer in this country? It is not what the country is offering to us, the young people. Okay. It has been what the country can offer to the young people. What as we, the young people, the young leaders, can we offer to the country? Okay. We need to offer the new leadership, the new energy, the new vibe, and now travel this country to the next level. Okay.
Kimberly, do you agree with Kiprono when he says that it's fine that yes, there are challenges, but it's about progress, not perfection? Or for you, is it about replacement of the old system?
Trevor, allow me say that we, the young people, if we want progressive leadership, there are some things we need to accept. Just like the panel agreed, if something is good, is good. If something is bad, let's just come out clearly and say it's bad. Let me not defend my party because of what the small incentives or whatever support I am receiving from it. It is clear even from the comments of our friends who are watching, our fellow Kenyans from diaspora or whichever part of it, they're saying the SHA is not working, so education is not fixed, and clearly you've seen here in Nairobi, my friend from UDA agreed if it rains for an hour, the whole city is in shambles. So I would say let us just support what is right. We want working systems. Let's not support our parties if they do not resonate or deliver to the people. Let's support ideology, because honestly, these parties have become like clubs. Whoever has the highest carries the day. If a young person wants to vie today, they will be denied a ticket and be told, wait for your time. Or maybe just because they are short of finance, they will not be given that leeway to be had. And maybe this is one person who is very innovative, can create employment for their fellow young people, can bring on board very brilliant minds. And just to add on that, that reminds me, there is still a wound that is in us young people. We were there in the streets. They talked of compensation. Not most of the young people who are compensated. Our life has been lost in Kitengela. That was not our wish. People are out there trying to practice their democratic right, the right to picket, to be there in the street, to be heard. In fact, they didn't even go there to picket. Honestly, they went there to listen to a leader who they've seen an ideology onto. But again, they ended up being shot, and there are also some people who were injured in the hospital, if I'm not wrong. So why can't we have a working system, live in a country where you can freely express your opinion without freedom of contradiction? Like Trevor, just to point out, let us not be blackmailed that we do pay taxes. Let us agree on that. Let not someone fix a working, draining tap and tell you that is a leader. No. If you're paying tax, that is your right. I mean, if I pay tax today, that means I am paying for this thing. I need to access it. It should not be the fact that maybe you have facilitated how this thing can be transported up to here makes you feel like you're a leader to me. No.
All right, let me bring in Seth.
Thank you, Trevor. Just a quick rejoinder to Kimberly. I think the president, in realization of years of victims who have suffered in protests, set up a committee, a task force, that was supposed to come up with a framework to be able to compensate those who lost their lives or those who were injured. And I think then some busybodies moved to court. And what was supposed to be a novel initiative, something that would help recompense. I know there is no price you can put to someone's life. That cannot be done. But there could be some things that the government can be able to do to be able to address those issues that occurred. But I think that matter was in court and it is yet to be determined upon. But it's something that the government realized and set up a committee. Secondly, it is the issue of the problems we have. I agree that there have been teething problems. If you look at healthcare, there have been some problems. If you look at the education system that we currently have, there have been some problems. But they are not new problems. These are problems that have existed even before, from the time of Moi to Kibaki's time, Uhuru's time, and even right now, President William Samoei Ruto inherited some of them. But the most important thing is, what are we doing as a government to address some of these problems? In the 2025-2026 budget, 28% of that budget was allocated to education to solve the problems, and that is the largest allocation so far since independence. So that was in realization of the problem and how that problem was supposed to be addressed. If you look at SHA is working. In some instances, there could be problems with SHA. That we do agree. It is still a new system. But by and large, SHA has been able to work. SHA has been able to treat people. If you look at the various funds, the chronic fund, the primary fund, and everything else, it has been able to work. If you look at the infrastructural problem we've had as a country, there are remedies that have been put in place to address. For instance, the National Infrastructure Fund that the president has mooted would be one way to be able to address the infrastructural discrimination that has happened in this country. It is true that there are areas that people have tarmacs heading to nowhere. And in some other areas, people lack tarmac. It is true that there are areas where people have tapped water in all home states, and yet there are some areas that have never seen any piped water since independence. So these are some of the things that President William Samoei Ruto is doing to address these challenges. But moving forward, young people should take a keen interest in the political process, not just during election. Remember, the political process is a cycle. It begins from the budget making process, it goes through the sensitization, the civic education that is done, and even young people should offer themselves for this position. There's nothing that prevents a young person from going for the seat of MCA, for going for the seat of MP. If you look at the statistics of the 2017 elections and the 2022 elections, we had about a 30% fold increase in the number of young people that were going for these seats. I hope in 2027 we could even have another extra 50% of people, young people going for these seats. It is through that then that young people will be able to get into the decision-making rooms, they would be able to articulate their issues, and they would be able to proffer or offer solutions that can work for us, not just as young people, but for Kenya as a whole.
All right, Billion. And the reason I'm asking this question is what should young people look for in their leaders? Should it be about their party lines or not? It's actually something you mentioned. You're talking about Sifuna, then you said you don't know the party, what your party direction will give, but for now. So does that mean that if your party changes tune, then you also have to change tune, or what does that mean?
No, thank you, Trevor. For me, I believe in personal opinion. I believe that I stand for something. I believe as a leader that, people, there are party positions which sometimes we align with the party positions. I'm a member of a party, and I know my Honorable David is listening as my party leader.
That's MDG.
But however, I hold opinion because I look at things differently. Yeah. I interact with people. And I align with him because of his track record. I know what he has done for the people. I know his vision for the people. So in most cases, it's not all about the party. It's about the service delivery. It's about where do we focus? What are our priorities as a country? And for me, I look at things not as me, because I'm here today, I'm young today, tomorrow I'm not young. I have generations that are behind me. I look at institutions. I look at, how best can we make this country better? Because I've been to countries that are well built, that our systems are working, that we admire everything. I feel that for my country. So my agitation, my drive has not always been what is my party leader saying? What is the stand for my party? Because these leaders go out all the time for benchmarking, but they come back and we're still seeing the dust and all that everywhere. So my push is for a better country, and coming next election, I look for track record. I look for where do we place our priorities, where do our leaders place their priorities, and what is it, the bigger picture that they're selling to us.
Okay. Yeah. Felista, what will you be looking for in the coming election? What will you be looking for? What are your priority areas?
I can't hear you.
What are your priority areas? What will you be looking for in a leader?
I want a leader who is loud, whose action is louder than noise. I want a leader who can see something and correct it without waiting for the government fund. For example, Senator Karen Nyamu. She's empowering youth by supporting the wanawake pale nje.
Okay.
I want a leader who is very transparent and accountable. I want a leader who can collaborate with other leaders without fighting.
Okay. Olesile, finally, as we finish.
First, as a young person, they say that preparation precedes success. So, as a young person in the national space, in the grassroots, architectural space, in these coming elections, or in the 2027, we are looking forward to have leaders who are ready to, articulate issues of the people, and are ready to listen to the people. I remember when His Excellency, the Deputy President, said that when you go to the ground should also listen to you as a leader. As much as you listen to the ground, they also listen to you as a leader so that you can give direction. Like, for example, myself, I've consulted a lot with the young people, working closely with the youth around our place, even in Kilgoris. And we are closely getting mentored by our mentors. Those who know that they're mentoring us, those who don't even know that they're mentoring us, just by the way of the way they are leading. Like myself, I've been held hands by senior people. The current State House Controller is my friend, and he has held my hand and mentored me. So because of that, you find that in this future, you know, they say youths are the leaders of the future. But we say youths are the leaders of now, the present, and the future.
All right.
As I consult widely, I will also run for a seat in Kilgoris constituency and seek for my people to, you know, because they need representation. I want people to come to Kilgoris and benchmark after 2027. Okay. Because I'll be in that space.
All right.
So one thing I want to tell young people is that show up. Success favors those who show up. When you show up, you don't wait to be called upon, to be endorsed. You show up, you show your articulation to issues, and that way you get to the space, you get to the table to discuss issues that affect national interest.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Seth Okumu, Director, Kenya Youth Transition Initiative; Victor Kiprono, CEO, Zero Barefoot; Felista Dhiamba, Youth Advocate; Ken Olesile, UDA Secretary, Kilgoris; Billian Ojiwa, Community Mobilizer; and Kimberly Grace, Youth Advocate and also University of Nairobi Secretariat, Gender and Welfare. Thank you all for speaking to us on Matters Youth and Politics. Every Friday, we give young people a chance to pontificate on the issues happening around the country in their own way, in their own version, in their own words. All right? And thank you all for all the feedback that you sent through. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Coming up next is Ben Su, and I believe he has Roy T-Boy on the decks. All right? Bye for now.